org and prevention first.
3700.
The views and opinions of the following show do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of News Talk 1450 WOL, Radio 1 Incorporated, or their management.
Bring the beat in.
Oh, yes.
Honey, honey.
All right, everybody. Yes. Amen. All right. I got my Barry White voice on. Yes. All right, everybody. Good morning, and good morning again. This is the C. Allen Morning Show with Trendy Lindy. Good morning, Trendy.
Good morning, C. Allen. Good morning, everyone.
I'm telling you, everybody, I'm kind of fired up this morning, but I'm going to try to contain myself before we even get into the topic. The topic that we're discussing is we're helping people to start and operate a business. We're doing a recap of our business series. We had the beauty attorney Roxanne Kerr to come to our conference on yesterday. We had J. Arthur Brown and Associates, the accountant that was there. We had Trendy Lindy. I'm going to talk about her real bad. We had Rashawn Broadnex, who talked about social media. And then we had yours truly, of course. And then we had Raymond Bell from the Hope Project. And I believe that was it. Okay. Yeah. So we had a dynamic team of beauty experts as well as industry leaders to come out to the award-winning Bennett Career Institute on yesterday to go over and talk about business. But before we get to that, let me give everyone my question for the day. The question for the day is, what do you do if confronted by the police? What do you do if you're confronted by the police? And we're going to talk about that a little bit because, I'm having some major problems this morning because of all of the police brutality. I tell you, there's something going on in Ferguson that we're going to talk about in a little bit. And the question for the day is, what do we do if we're confronted by the police? I want to hear from you. That's 1-800-450-7876. That's 1-800-450-7876. But today, our topic is a recap of the business series, and we're so excited this morning that we have J. Arthur Brown and Associates on the line. Good morning, Mr. Brown.
Good morning.
Okay, Mr. Brown, I'm so glad that you called right at the top of the hour. My God, that's really good. Okay, so Mr. Brown, now kind of talk to us a little bit about, well, first of all, everyone, if you're just tuning in, this is the C. Allen Morning Show. It's all about beauty, fashion, entertainment, life skills, as well as we like to help and heal the community. Now, we have the CPA, one of the best in the country, J. Arthur Brown and Associates. He has two offices, one in D.C., one in Maryland. So if you're not going to him to get your taxes, if you're not going to him as the accountant, I don't know what's wrong with you. The thing that I love about Mr. Brown is Mr. Brown started out as a barber, and now he is an accountant. So if you're in the beauty field, he knows exactly how to handle you, and he knows your specific, all the details in your industry because he was there at one time. Now, Mr. Brown, talk to us a little bit about what you taught on yesterday in the auditorium at the award-winning Bennett Career Institute for their business series.
Well, one of the things I tried to share with the entrepreneurs that were in attendance on yesterday was to try and make them aware of the field that they're in and try to maintain good records. Also, make them in compliance with the tax laws. How to use that in a way that would benefit them, benefit their business, and make sure they're in compliance with the IRS rules and regulations, paying their taxes on a timely basis, and making sure that they're on top of everything going through that business.
So, Mr. Brown, okay, no, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, the one thing that I've noticed, a lot of the people starting off in business, They don't start off with a business plan. They don't start off with a roadmap to guide them or direct them to making to maximizing their business operation. How to bring clients in, how to pay their taxes on time, how to keep good records. All of this is a part of being a good business person, and that's one of the things we tried to share with them on yesterday.
Absolutely. So, Mr. Brown, talk to our listeners about what do you feel is the most common problem that you find when beauty professionals come into your tax office? What do you feel is the most I would say, the barrier that a lot of them have?
Two things. Many of them do not keep good records. That's problem number one. The other thing is that they all tend to come in at the end of the year. They haven't made any preparation of paying taxes on a quarterly basis. No estimate taxes are paid. They wind up with a large tax bill at the end of the year. And the one thing that they seem to miss is that what happens if I want to, at some point, buy a house? What happens when I retire? So these things, they don't have on their radar. They look they live day to day. And if you go into your business, you're making good money today, making good money next week, all of that has an impact on your tax filing at the end of the year. When you go out to try and buy a house, at one point, clients could go into a mortgage company, and based on their volume of income coming in and what they have with the bank, they could do no-doc loans. That has been done away with now. Mm-hmm. So what they wind up having to do is to go back and amend their returns to show their correct income in order to just qualify for a mortgage. So the same thing happens if a person go through life, never reporting their true income, never setting money aside for retirement by putting money in a 401k, an IRA, and then you reach retirement, no income out there, they find themselves in a bind. So this is something that I try to advise clients as they come to the office to prepare today for tomorrow. Pay yourself today. How do you do that? You want to make sure that you're reporting the correct amount of income, setting money aside by paying your estimate taxes, and also report what you're making so that when you want to go out and buy a house, you have your records already there.
Absolutely.
It's already been paid with the IRS.
And you know what I told them yesterday, Mr. Brown? I said, so you can stop going to Shamika and Shaquana, having them do those fake pay stubs for you.
Absolutely.
And all of that, just so you can try to obtain the things that normal working people, actually receive. So one of the things I thought was awesome, Mr. Brown, I noticed how your time went so quickly because they had so many questions from the accounting side. I was telling Trendy that it is important, especially in the beauty profession, that we really keep up to date and get a good accountant so we can be able to sleep at night and know that we're doing the things that we're supposed to do as citizens. I think that it is important for all of you that are listening out there that if you have not if you haven't been paying your taxes, you know that Uncle Sam has a problem with the beauty professions anyway. They have a problem with us because it's a cash and carry industry. So it's an industry where they can't really regulate how much we make and what we do with our money. But it is important that if you want the finer things in life, you have to make sure that you keep accurate records and you go to someone like Mr. Brown in order for you to be able to get those tax returns and all of that. Now, Mr. Brown, we got a big show today. We got a lot of folks. The lines are lit up. We got a lot of stuff going on, but I'm so glad that you called in. Now, everyone that's listening, before Mr. Brown go, he has two offices, but the most important one, or the main one where I go to see him, is at 4506 St. Barnabas Road, Suite 103. Let me give out the number. If you're looking for an accountant, if you're self-employed, even if you're employed, but especially for our beauty industry folks, this is a former barber. His number is 301-316-5246. That's J. Arthur Brown and Associates. Mr. Brown also was my co-host, I believe, last year. He came in one day and talked to us around tax time about the best way to file taxes and the things that we need to do. Mr. Brown, I really appreciate you. I thank you for all your years of expertise. I thank you for everything that you've done for me, the Bennett Career Institute, Sea Island Systems, Bennett Corporation, Bennett Babies. I mean, Mr. Brown is the one. Thank you so much, Mr. Brown. We enjoyed you on yesterday.
Thank you very much. I really enjoyed being with you.
Okay, very good. Have a good day, everyone. All right, so listen, and listen again. Okay, before we go to Willow in the city, Willow, just calm yourself down. I want to mention again our question of the day. The number is 1-800-450-7876. Our question is, what do you do if the police confront you? If you're confronted by the police, what do you do? We're going to be taking those calls in between us talking about the business series, because I want to talk about what's going on in St. Louis. My Lord, one of my close friends, I know you all heard me talk about L a lot on the show. He's actually listening today, but L, we have talked about you over the years on the show, the mistakes that I've made, also some things that I didn't like. I done put our business all out there. Lord have mercy, but it was all good. Praise the Lord. But anyway, L is from St. Louis, and he brought to my attention what was going on in Ferguson. And if you've been watching CNN, you've been hearing all about the police in Ferguson who shot and killed an 18-year-old. They said that the guy was they claimed that he was stealing candy out the store, something of that nature. Shot him over 10 times. They said casings all over the place. And my question of the day, and I'm going to read a little bit about this story later on, but the question of today is, what do you do when it comes time if you're confronted by the police? I want to hear from you. 1-800-450-7876. At this time, let's go to Willow in the city. Good morning, Willow.
Good morning. It's Willow in the city. Yeah.
No, baby, no, we don't want it that. We're not going to do that.
Andy.
Good morning. Good morning.
How y'all doing this morning?
We great.
All right, I'm going to jump right to it. Based on a lot of questions that I get from the clients who sit in my chair and in doing consultation, it's been brought to my attention that some of us are not clear of what a texturizer is and what it does. Texturizing, a lot of people, like my client the other day, she wanted to do the big chop, but she didn't. She wanted to be all natural, but at the same time, she didn't like the tightness of her coils. She wanted to be able to use the curly products, etc. Okay, moving right along. So she agreed that I explained to her doing the texturizer is going to take her out of the natural state, but what it did was it relaxes the curl. I have different people coming to me and asking, I think some people think that texturizers actually put the curl in the hair. It does not. What it does is it relaxes your natural curl pattern slightly. That means everybody's results aren't going to be different, aren't going to be the same because of the different hair textures. And it also means that if you have straight hair, a texturizer will not add curl. That's it.
All right.
Okay, well, Willow.
That's our beauty tip for today.
Okay, Willow, let me just say that's okay, because I always tend to go off on you on the air, and I'm not going to do that today. I'm not going to let the spirit lead me. I'm not going to let the spirit use me this morning. So I'm not going to read, write, and regulate you on the air this morning. What I will say, Willow, is you never cease to amaze me on how awesome your hairstyles are, how great of a professional you are. And I just really appreciate you at the Sea Island Signature Salon. Now, for those who are just tuning in, not only are we talking about the business series, our question is what happens when you're confronted by the police is our question of the day. But also, we do have several specials going on at the Sea Island Signature Salon. Tomorrow is 20 Tuesdays. You can come in for first-time only people and get a basic service for $20. Thursdays is our Lock Me Up special for $50, and Willette is a awesome loctician And then now we're starting our back to school specials. This weekend, the freshmen from Howard University come in. We're doing something special for them. But Willow, we got to go to break. But I want you to do this, though. I want you to hold the line. And Carolyn, I want you to hold on as well. Because I want to ask you guys, what do we do? What do you do if you're confronted by the police? Hold the line. This is the C. Allen Morning Show with Trendy Lindy. We'll be right back after these messages.
Honey, honey.
News updates on the web at WOLDCnews.com.
From here, can't you see?
Good morning, this WOL Traffic Update is brought to you by VisionWorks. On the outer loop of the Beltway, the road work in Prince George's County, slowing things down up from Central Avenue after Route 202 before you get to 50. It's going to be the left lane closed for construction today. Also very slow right now as you head on to Suitland Parkway outbound at Firth Sterling Avenue. The right lane was blocked for road work. The right glasses will improve your confidence as well as your vision. Our Eyes is now VisionWorks, where you'll find more than a pair of glasses. You'll find a better you. VisionWorks, now your WOL weather forecast, brought to you by Columbia Bank. For today, increasing clouds, a high near 84, some showers overnight down to 70. Tomorrow, off and on showers, a high near 78. At the Columbia Bank, you can securely deposit your checks with just a snap using the new mobile deposit service. Go online at thecolumbiabank.com to get started. Message and data rates may apply. Steve Hirschhorn for News Talk 1450 WOL, where information is power.
News Talk 1450 WOL AM, where information is power.
Every time you touch me, I just melt.
All right, everyone, we're back here live in the nation's capital at the Radio 1 studio, 1450 AM WOL, where information is power. Okay, Willow, we got you back, and Carolyn, we're going to get you in a second. Talk to me, Willow, because you have, you have adult children now. Have you had a conversation with your son about what happens when you're confronted with the police, or what kind of story can you tell us or tell our listeners? What happens? What do you do if you're confronted by the police?
I personally pray, and I'm not even trying to sound holy or anything like that. But
because we know you're not. Go ahead, baby.
I'm serious, because I really be nervous, because to me, when you get the cops and you get pulled over, it's like a box of chocolates. You really don't know what you're going to get. I've been really kind to some, and they're just nasty if they seem like it to be in a bad mood, and I'm a grown woman. So for my son, I encourage him to keep that car that his granddad gave him. I'm mad that he put cents on it, because to me, I tell him, he looks like everybody else right now. You got the locks going on. To me, they target stuff like that. So it's a big issue, and that's a good question. What do you do?
Yeah, I want to hear from our listeners, Willow, today about that, because we're talking about what was brought to my attention, what's going on in Ferguson. But it's not just Ferguson. Also, you see all on Facebook and everywhere where they are now capturing the police beating our tails. And
Yes.
but the other side to it now, and of course you already know, I'm not taking one side or the other, but in a lot of cases, I do see the person fighting, kicking, moving. They are actually resisting arrest. So I really want to know what's going on, because when I talk about the Ferguson story, according to things could be wrong, but they were, according to what the articles were saying, was that an altercation involving two men and an officer around noon, and they said that one of the men pushed the officer into his patrol car. There was a scuffle inside the car over the officer's gun, and the officer fired one shot inside the cruiser. Seconds later, outside the cruiser, he fired several more shots, and the 18-year-old Michael Brown lay dead. So the question I want my listeners to call, tell me, what are you telling your children, and what are you actually doing? Now, I'm not blaming Michael Brown, the 18-year-old who got shot dead. I don't know if he was in a scuffle. I don't know what's going on. But why are we scuffling the police? Why are we resisting arrest? Why are we, when they tell us to turn around and put our hands behind our back, we refuse to do so? Then the next thing we know, they whoop our tails. I want to hear from you this morning, because I don't want to get really angry, but this is starting to bother me that every time I turn around, I see a different case of police brutality. What is going on in the world today. Thank you, Willow. Now, our list is going to come out and see you this week. We're going to offer a little great special for them for the first 5 callers. We're going to do all of that later on in the show, but we look forward to seeing you on tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
All right, very good. Let's go to Carolyn. Carolyn been holding for a minute. Good morning, Carolyn. Welcome to the C. Allen Morning Show.
Good morning, C. Allen. This is a very important topic. I thank you for raising this issue this morning. But, you know, our people, we've been through slavery. Ever since we've gotten here, we've been preyed upon, okay? So this is nothing different. We just have to take a different approach and use the word. The word is our. We have a sword. We have to use it.
Yes.
And what does the word say? We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against powers and principalities in high places.
Yes. Talk, Carolyn.
Right. So what we have to do is take a different approach. Have you seen anyone named Muhammad or either Malcolm X or any of those names attacked recently? No, we have not, because they are covered by the blood, and they've used the power of the Holy Spirit. And our people have to do the same thing. We have to get back to basics, get back to what we know, and stop spending money in places where we're disrespected.
Exactly. That's very good, Carolyn.
So what I'm telling people, Christmas and Thanksgiving, what we need to do is get back into the Word and buy books. If you want to buy anything for your children, buy books.
Yes. That's real good, Carolyn. That's real good.
We don't have to boycott anyone. We just say we're just going to take a different posture until things change in the United States.
So, Carolyn, let me ask you this question. Carolyn, let me ask you this question real quick. So now, what kind of conversation? Do you have any children?
I do. I have 2 children.
Okay, so what kind of conversations do you have in reference to what happens when confronted by the police? And the reason why I'm asking that is because a lot of the videos that I've seen and a lot of reports that I read, there was a confrontation. Now, even though we know that the police are very aggressive and we know that they can twist the story, and we know that oftentimes there's conflict with what they say to what actually happened, but how have you prepared your children?
I'm preparing my children by what's happening now, just by what I'm telling you. I'm telling them when school is starting next week in D.C., I'm telling them, look, we have to take a different approach in America. This is a knowledge-based economy. It's an economy where people respect people who respect themselves. So until you respect yourself, until we respect ourselves as a people, then we'll be preyed upon. We're preyed upon because the devil seeks those that he can kill, steal, and destroy. And he uses people who are divided.
Okay.
Now
let me just say this.
No, because they are unified. And then if it happened, guess what? They would stop spending money right away. Absolutely.
And let me respond, Carolyn. Carolyn.
Exactly. So because we're divided, the enemy is preying upon us.
Carol. Yeah. Calm down now. You just going on and you preaching today now. Wait a minute. I want you to. Okay, because you going on and on. You won't even. Now, is this the Carolyn show? Is this the Carolyn show?
Things that they did. They didn't go out and spend their money.
Wait a minute now. Hello. Is this the Carolyn show or the C. Allen Morning Show? Can I ask you a question?
No, it's C. Allen.
All right then. Okay, so listen, Carolyn. One of our callers. Listen, because I'm on social media and I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, everything. Now, one of our callers says that Carolyn saying buying books sounds crazy. Now, I'm going to just say this. The reason why, and Carolyn, you correct me if I'm wrong, one of the reasons why you're saying that we need to buy books is because if we were more educated, we wouldn't find ourselves in certain places. We wouldn't be doing certain things. We would be spending our time more wisely, and we will make better choices. Is that what that's what you're saying, right?
That's part of it. That's just part of it. See, when you know more, when you know better, you do better.
Gotcha.
Okay, so it's a situation where people can't trick you into certain things, into spending your money and going certain places. If you know that, hey, when Martin Luther King was killed, he was planning on doing, his next plan was to take the economy and deal with the economy. That's why he was killed, guys. It wasn't about us going and integrating this place and integrating that place. He wanted us to have a plan in terms of taking our community from being dependent to being independent.
Yes.
when you buy a
All
book
right, Miss Carolyn, that's enough. That's enough. Now you taking over the show. Now you taking over, Carolyn. Hang up on Carolyn. Hang up on her. Hang up on Carolyn. All right, we done hung up on Carolyn. All right, good morning, Tyrone. Welcome to the Sea Island Morning Show. Listen, everyone, I want to hear from you. Even though we are weaving in about what happened yesterday at the business conference, but good morning. Talk to me.
Good morning to both of you, and I hope your weekend were blessed.
Tyrone, we didn't even get into our weekend like we always do because J. Arthur Brown then called in at 10 o'clock. I know. Well, anyway, go ahead, Tyrone. Talk to us.
He has very good advice, and I really appreciate him calling in. I used to work for the police department. So let me tell you, first of all, I wasn't a police officer. I was a civilian employee. The first, let me tell you what you don't do. Then I'll tell you what you do. Number one, you don't, when the police approaches you, you'll say, sir, or ma'am, or hey, you, whatever it is, the appropriate way to say it, miss, or mister, or sir, or ma'am. You don't put your hands in your pockets. You do not do that. You don't point anything, not even a finger, at them. What you do, and you don't open your mouth and say, what do you want? Well, what are you stopping me for? What have I done? In that tone, you don't do that. You say, yes, sir, officer, or yes, ma'am, officer, how may I assist you, or how may I help you? And you do it with a very low tone, a very appropriate tone voice. And because remember, they're scared too, and they want to go see their families.
That's true.
So that's the first thing you do. Those are things you do. Once the officer asks you a question, or if the officer say to you, put your hands behind you, or put your hands on top of your head, and you put your hands on top of your head, or they tell you get down on the ground, or get over on the car, on the scout car, lean over, or if you're in the car driving and they stop you, you put your hands on the wheel, steering wheel. Don't go for the glove compartment. Don't reach for anything. Don't I'm gonna get my license out. Don't do none of that. Put your hands on the steering wheel so they can see. So as long as they're not threatened, that's the whole thing. You don't want to do anything that threatens them. And when they ask you a question, yes, officer, yes, sir, officer, or yes, ma'am, officer. Let me see a driver's license. Yes, sir, officer. Or they say, get out the car. You open the door and you get out the car. You follow directions from A to Z until you are no longer in front of that officer. And what I mean by that is that the officer has said to you, you're clear to go, or you're free to go. Mm-hmm. Then when that happens, that means that the officer, nothing's been a problem. If they take your driver's license, they pull you over, Sea Island, and they ask you for your driver's license. That's what you do. You do those things. You give them your driver's license. They're going to go back to their car. They're going to call it in to see if you have any outstanding warrants or have anything against you, points or anything. If not, they'll tell you, usually have a good day, and that kind of thing. You just go head on. Do not approach them in a rough tone. Do not make any moves. Stand perfectly still and look them in the eye. But don't threaten them. Don't make them. That's where a lot of the young people are making their mistakes. Mm-hmm. They're saying things. They're making, because they read body language. I used to work for the Metropolitan Police Department. I know it. They read your body language. They know that they feel threatened. And particularly a young rookie cop, but even a mature, seasoned officer feels threatened. Oh yes, they'll pull that gun in a minute. Mm-hmm. They'll use it, and they're trained to shoot to kill in this city. And now city cops in various cities and counties are being trained that way. Mm-hmm. But the Metropolitan Police Department, they're trained to shoot to kill. Never, ever, and I know that's not correct English, but never, I put it there, never come at them in an aggressive tone. Even if they come at you in one, don't you come at them with one. Because aggression meeting aggression is not going. It's a recipe for trouble.
And it's true, Tyrone. I was coming back. We got to go to commercial break. Let me say this real quick. I was coming back from the gym and I was on Benning Road and the police stopped me. I can't remember what I did, but I instantly had an attitude.
See, don't do it.
And I instantly had an attitude. And once the police realized I had an attitude, he had a bigger attitude. And once I saw his bigger attitude, I calmed myself right on down. And the great thing is that I have my paperwork already ready and available, so it won't be any kind of confusion. I think I made the wrong turn or something, but needless to say, we have good cops, we have bad cops.
That's right.
We have
That's
good
right.
people, we have bad people. At
That's
the end of the day, we have to make sure that we know how to conform in certain situations. Thank you so much, Tyrone.
When you
Oh, yes, they hear that. I'm sorry, Tyrone. That was not me. Alonzo hung up on you, but we got to go to commercial. All right, everyone. This is 1450 AM WOL, where information is power. We'll be right back after these messages.
News Talk 1450 WOL AM, where information is power.
Good morning, I'm Doug Parrish. Here's the latest from News1.com, brought to you in part by Maryland Live Casino. Meet the pros of the Fantasy Football Draft Party at Live Casino August 15th. A tragic situation in Landover. That's where a 3-year-old was shot and killed. An innocent bystander from an argument that was playing out right outside her home. Reporter Mike Fortier has more.
Prince George's County Police say there was an argument inside the home on Forest Terrace between two men. One of the men left, but returned with a gun and fired several shots into the home, hitting the girl while she was in an upstairs bedroom. Her name has not been released.
Now, police have since identified the alleged gunman. He's identified as 25-year-old Devon Wallace, and police are still looking for him. Well, they're still looking into what caused a roller coaster to break down at Six Flags in Largo. 24 riders were stranded in the air because of the breakdown. Julie Carpenter has more.
Prince George's County Fire Chief Mark Bashore says no one was seriously injured in the incident aboard the Joker's Jinx Sunday afternoon in suburban Washington, D.C., though some riders were stranded on the side of its high curb for about 5 hours. The ride, named for the Batman villain, usually takes about 56 seconds.
Well, despite the summertime heat, the services continued at Shiloh House of God in Prince George's County. Thieves last week destroyed 4 large AC units outside the Hyattsville Church.
It was very frustrating. It's August and it's pretty hot, and a lot of the members were thinking that we were going to cancel service, but no, we're not going to let that stop us.
Well, that's church elder Daniel Ray, who says it appears the thieves targeted the AC units for their copper tubing. Church is now looking at installing a video surveillance system. And the news brought to you in part by Heritage for the Blind. Be a star. Donate your car to Heritage for the Blind. I'm Doug Parrish. When you're looking for news for Black America, go to News1.com.
News updates on the web at WOLDCnews.com.
Oh, no. Oh, no. See, Alan, keep your day job. Keep your day job, sir.
Anyway, Trendy, you better be glad.
I'm going to shut up. I ain't saying nothing.
You better be glad that the attorney at law, our beauty attorney, Roxanne Kerr, who's a beautiful woman, you have to be glad that she's on the line now.
I am glad.
Because I'm going to go off on you about your presentation. First of all, Alonzo, wait a minute before we get Roxanne. I want to get Darnell first. I want Darnell to talk because I'm sure he's about the question of the day. And then I'm going to really talk about that Trendy Lindy. But Roxanne, you hold on a second because we're going to get you. Darnell, our question of the day is, what do you do when confronted by the police?
Well, as a 6'3", 300-pound dude, the first thing you do is put your hands up, period, because I'm already a natural threat. It doesn't matter what pedigree or intelligence level or anything else. It doesn't matter what color the officer is, black or white. They see me, they see problems, because they don't want to put themselves in a particular put themselves in a position where they can't get out of. Mm-hmm. So what I've learned to do is just, like the gentleman said before, if I'm in the car, immediately put my hands on the steering wheel. And then when they come to the car and they see me, who I am, I make sure I speak in nice, soft tones, yes sir, no sir. They may call it acting like a punk or whatever else, but my life is on the line just as much as their life is
That's
on the line.
right. Well, Darnell, let me ask you this question. Do you think, we were talking on a commercial break, do you think that in some of the cultures, we are taught at a young age to hate the police?
I don't think we're taught to hate the police. I think we're taught to be mindful of the police, to be mindful and understand that, the police is not your friend. It's not the, like DC Walker and your officer friendly. No, that's not the perception that we're taught growing up. We're taught always to, when you're around the police, you need to be mindful. We teach our kids, okay, if you keep acting up, I'm gonna call the police. So from the time that they're young, they program to look at the police as a position of fear.
Mm-hmm.
So
exactly, because we would say, I can remember being around the way 5-0. In certain areas, it was Alice. In certain areas, it was the Popo. Go ahead, Darnell. Go ahead, because we got to go. Go ahead. All right, so let me ask you this question. 6'3", 300-some pounds. So do you find that most people your build, your height, do you find that they become a little more aggressive, or do you think that they are more aware of the perception, so they become less aggressive?
Oh, 100%. They're immediately on. Being in that field myself, they're taught that there's 10 levels. So they'll see you, and they'll instead of being at a level 2, they're already at a level 8. So God forbid if you have a guy my size that's a little upset or anything like that, he immediately going to level 10. Gotcha. It's not even a question.
Gotcha.
They see your size and they know. It's nothing before you get pulled over and then they see or they run your stuff. You have one cop and then you look up and you have 10 cops and it's like, Harley, for me, really?
Exactly. And I have a police story that I'm going to tell later on in the show, so keep on listening to the Sea Island Morning Show, and we appreciate you. All right, Darnell?
All right.
Okay, very good. All right, everyone, we have the beauty attorney. We have the Roxanne Kerr on the line. Roxanne Kerr was one of the guest speakers yesterday at the business series at the award-winning Bennett Career Institute. And I tell you, she did a fantastic job. Let's bring her in. Good morning, Roxanne.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing absolutely awesome. First of all, let me just say this, and and I have to get certain things out, certain stereotypes out my mind, because when I think of lawyers, all the lawyers that I've had, and I'm not talking because I know my main attorney is listening to the show, and no offense at all is led away. But when I think of an attorney, I never necessarily think of a young, beautiful, full face of makeup, nice color in her hair, nice shape, cute little outfit on, had a little Louis Vuitton, had a little heels on, toes painted. Lord have mercy on my soul. I had to keep it professional yesterday. I had no clue. I'm not going to say I had no clue, but I have to stay away from those stereotypes. Roxanne Kerr, talk to us this morning. Tell us, well, first of all, welcome to the show. I think that you did a fantastic job on yesterday. I am looking forward to building a business relationship with you. I love the idea of the beauty attorney. Talk to us about the beauty attorney and talk to us about who is Roxanne Kerr. Give us a couple of minutes. Go ahead, Dean.
Okay, thank you. So thank you for having me yesterday as well as today. I'm very excited to be with you and your audience. And so I'm Roxanne Kerr, as you just said, and I focus my practice on real estate and contracts in general. And so I write contracts for people as well as litigate them in court when things go wrong. And so contract really is my love. And I have been around beauty people, beauty professionals, for pretty much all my life. My sister, Buntricia Bastion, is an international makeup.
Well, first of all, you did not tell me that was your sister. I know her very well.
Is that right?
I had no idea that was your sister.
Yes. Buntricia is my sister. She thinks she's my mother, but I'm her baby sister.
And she think that she's my mother as well. Right? Lord have mercy. Oh, my God. It's such a small world. Go ahead. Continue.
Yes. So, so I've been, of course, hearing the complaints. I have aunts and, cousins and nieces who are also in the beauty industry. And so from that, I guess is why I can't walk around looking crazy, because they will not allow that. Enough as it is, my sister thinks I only wear, beige and black. She'd have been proud that I did not have on just white and black yesterday. So that's a part of why I had to, come looking right. And then just being around beauty professionals, you guys are all about color and glamour, so I want to make sure that I kind of fit in on that level. But you mentioned the Beauty Lawyer, and the Beauty Lawyer is a website portal that pretty much is going to be anywhere that beauty professionals can go to find out what events are happening around the world. Makeup, estheticians, cosmetologists, any beauty professional can go to the website and get that information. But more importantly, the website has form contracts and other legal documents that they can purchase at like $25, I think, is the average contract on there. And it's specifically geared to beauty professionals. So unlike other websites that might have just contracts that are general that you have to purchase and then kind of become your own lawyer and figure out what goes where, the BeautyLawyer.com already has contracts that are specifically geared to your industry already. So you pretty much just have to purchase it and go in and pretty much put your name and your client's name and maybe make some tweaks here and there, and then you're done. And so for that reason, I'm really excited at this new venture that I'm going on. And so the BeautyLawyer.com is not a law firm. It's not a lawyer. It doesn't give you legal advice. And so you'd go there to purchase your documents and do, your own business. But if you needed a lawyer specifically for anything related to contracts or real estate or even criminal law, because we do criminal law here in my office, then you can reach out to me or other affiliates of the BeautyLawyer.com, and you'll find those affiliated lawyers on the website as well.
Okay, very good. Well, I just want to say again that you did a fantastic job. It's so ironic when you talked about Bontricia, because I believe that you were in the room when I talked about when I first opened my cosmetic studio many years ago. It was your sister who came down. We flew her in. I believe she was in Florida at the time, and she came in and she trained all of our makeup artists.
Wow.
Using the Pinnacle line. So every time I go to a trade show convention, your sister's always there, always looking fabulous. She has an over-the-top personality. She's hilarious. And she'll say anything there. Anything can come out her mouth. You just got to take it to note that, she mean well. But
I am going to call her when I get off the phone, because she is having an international conference in Trinidad coming up, and then one in Vegas, which is, I guess, the flagship of what she does, which is the Hands-On Makeup Skills Conference. Yes. And we were in Jamaica. The last time I saw her, we were in Jamaica at the Jamaica conference for Hands-On Makeup Skills, and it was phenomenal.
And one thing I can say, and one thing I can say, it must run in the family, because Bontricia, she don't play no games, baby. She knows how to hustle the good way. She knows how to grind. She knows how to roll up her sleeve. She'll have 1,000 jobs, and she makes it happen. So, so that really runs in your family. But I just want to thank you. We have a lot of calls holding. But let me ask you this question really quickly. What have you shared with people, or what is your reaction to our question of the day? And that is, what do you do if confronted by the police?
That's such a loaded question, because I think it differs for men and women. I think men have to really be careful when they first when they're confronted with a police officer. But for both people, I would say that a lot of times police ask you to do things, like, for instance, if you're stopped for a DUI, they'll tell you, please get out of the car and, we want you to perform this standard field sobriety test. And what they don't tell you in Washington, D.C., is that you can consent or not consent to that test. And so if you think the less information you give them in terms of whether or not you are drunk, the better for you. You're not going to talk them out of arresting you. And sometimes you think if you follow what they ask you to do, that maybe you can prove you're not drunk. And if they think you're drunk from the beginning, it doesn't matter. They're going to make sure you fail that test, is my thought on it. And I would also say that you need to follow directions. But if they say something to you that sounds like you have the option to do it or not do it, you may want to not do it, because they're going to use that information against you later.
Gotcha. All right, Roxanne, we got to go to commercial break, but just really quickly, how can people, if they want more information about you or the beauty attorney, where should they go to find you?
You can find The Beauty Lawyer at www.thebeautylawyer.com. It's spelled the way that it's supposed to be spelled, thebeautylawyer.com. That website will be fully operational by the end of August. And then if you want to reach me, I can be found at www.rakerrlaw.com.
Perfect.
Or you can call me directly at 202-629-4137.
Very good. All right, everyone. I tell you, we're going to put all of this on our website. So if you didn't get a chance to get it, it'll be uploaded this week. We got to go to commercial break. Thank you so much, Roxanne, our beauty attorney. You did an awesome job. This is 1450 AM WOL. When we be back, we have Kelly and we have Dave holding on the line. We'll be back after these messages.
News Talk 1450 WOL AM, where information is power.
Good morning's WOL traffic update is brought to you by Hammer Mill Paper. On the outer loop of the Beltway, the left lane is closed today northbound after 202 before Route 50. It's slow from about Arena Drive now to get through it. Inbound on Suitland Parkway, they were doing some construction before you get to South Capitol Street. That was slowing you down as you head in toward town. Eastbound Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, outbound after Addison Road. It was the construction near 69th Place in the right lane. Hammer Mill Paper is proudly made in the USA, now available at your local Walmart. Pick up a ream today. Hammer Mill, no worries. Now your WOL weather forecast brought to you by Star Motorcycles for today. Increasing clouds, a high near 84 overnight, some showers down to 70 tomorrow, often on thunderstorms and a high near 78. Turn your commute into a fun and stress-free ride on a Star Cruiser. Right now, Star's offering free demo rides so you can discover all their great models for yourself. For more, Google Star Demo. That's Steve Vershaw for News Talk 1450 WOL, where information is power.
News updates on the web at WOLDCnews.com.
Yes, indeed. Lord have mercy on my soul. All right, everyone, we're back here live. I tell you today, we've been talking to, if you're just tuning in, this is the Sea Island Morning Show with Trendy Lindy. She's over here with a cold. She keep easing closer and closer to me. I told her get on the other side of the studio before I'm confronted by the police. When I knock her, in the name. Hallelujah. All right,
domestic
everybody.
violence in the studio. My God.
All right, everyone, we're back here live, and I can't wait to talk about, we're going to go ahead back to the phone lines, but I got to tell you about how Trendy Lindy was doing her health to wealth segment for the for the Beauty Business Conference. And what I just don't understand, and maybe somebody can call in and tell me, how in the world, Alonzo, I leave the room for 1 minute. When I come back, she's got people on stage talking about your flesh up against the spirit, knowing that this a married man want to meet you at the hotel and all of that. And I said to myself, what in two hells do that have to do with health equals wealth? And we're going to ask her there. That Trendy Lindy, she takes everything and goes into relationships. Lord, please, if you're a single man that make over 100,000, please call the line so I can set Trendy up so she can stop turning everything into a relationship series. How did health equals wealth end up with her talking about the flesh and the spirit? We're going to talk about that. Let's go straight to the phone lines. Let's get Kelly first and then Dave. Kelly, talk to us. Welcome to the Sea Island Morning Show.
Yes, well, I really, really enjoyed the business series. I attended like a few years ago, and it was you, and it was great. Everything was great. But this time when you had the different panelists discussing how many bank accounts should you have and how to market yourself, I just found that to be really exciting and informational.
That's good, Kelly. So let me ask you this question, and thank you for that comment, and we're glad that you attended the business series. But really quickly, if confronted by the police, what do you do?
Well, I instantly calm all the way down. I get on level 2 monotone. I say, I'm very respectful. I say, yes, officer. What would you like me to do? I'm pleasing and also I just listen to what they say, and I move very slowly.
Gotcha.
No fast aggressive moves, none of that. Very slowly.
Gotcha.
And not in a way that I'm like being disobedient, but in a way they know I'm not making any move towards a gun, knife, any of those things. I am moving in a pace that is not non-threatening.
Very good. All right. Thank you so much, Kelly. And you keep listening to the Sea Island Morning Show. Okay, dear?
All right. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Let's go to Dave. Dave, talk to us. Welcome. This is the Sea Island Morning Show. What happens? What do you do if confronted by the police?
Good morning, Sea Island and Trendy Lindy.
Good morning, Dave.
Yes. First of all, let's just keep it real. They just came out with a study, and they said black folks are suffering from post-traumatic stress, just like veterans. And this has been going on for about 30, 40 years now. So let's keep it real around here. We black folks are stressed out, and, we should be bringing the police up on charges. That's what we should be doing. And, I was just thinking about you the other day, Sea Island.
Yes, sir.
I was saying to myself, just as soon as I slow down and come get your Sea Island signature, I'm going to be the hardest thing on the platform.
Oh, Lord, there you go. Okay, Dave. I tell you one thing. You keep going on and not coming in to see us. You know I'm there every Tuesday. Keep on driving by in that cab and not stopping by to see us. It's going to be a problem, I'm telling you.
And one more thing, the first two callers, they hit the nail right on the head when they told y'all what you're supposed to do when pulled over or stopped while walking. They gave you the perfect blueprint. And there's a reason for that, because we all know that we the only people on the face of the earth that get pulled out of our car in the wintertime and told to go sit on the snow until we tell you to make your next move.
And
that don't happen to nobody around here, and we get killed every day.
And you know what?
I done seen police on TV actually beating a black woman down on the side of the highway. Wasn't even trying to put the handcuffs on her. Or maybe spray her in the face. It turned into look like a personal thing. I mean, he beat this black woman down on video. This is everyday occurrence.
And and the thing is, David, once L hit me to, he was mentioning to me about the Ferguson police because it's near his hometown. And I like when the listeners bring things to my attention. I just became very enraged because I remember the time a good friend Brandon and I, this was many, many years ago, we were on our way to Georgetown, and it so happened that I have it was a S430 then, and Dave, I told Brandon, I said, you know what, you drive. I had just got off from work, and I said, you drive. So he was driving into Georgetown, but something was going on with my tags. I can't remember exactly if it had just expired or what have you. But as soon as we got into the tip of Georgetown, here goes the police. The crazy thing about it was, Dave, he had a warrant out for his arrest, and he never said anything to me about it. So as we were going into Georgetown, the police pulled us over. I saw the nervousness in his face. He put his hand on the gears, and that told me he was about to pull off. I said right then and there, oh my God. I said, Brandon, please don't do this. I said, I have too much to lose. Do not pull off. What in the world is going on? And that's when he said he had a warrant out. I don't know if it was child support or whatever was going on, but make a long story short, there was a warrant out. The police, next thing you know, Dave, it was about 15 police cars with their lights flashing surrounding Sea Island. They put both of us on the side of the curb. Keep in mind now, this was just a few years ago. I'm on the radio. I'm owning the company and all of that. I'm sitting on the side of the curb. When I tell you they tore my Mercedes-Benz, the inside of that car up, they went in compartments that I didn't even know I had in the car. They tore the car up from inside and out, and then on top of that, then they proceed to get Brandon's information. They, when I saw them take off his belt and his shoestrings, I said, okay, he's going down. And they took his belt, took his shoestrings. I'm still sitting on the curb. I went over to a police officer. I'm sorry, a black police officer came over to me, and I asked him, I said, is this really necessary? Why am I sitting on this cold curb like this? What's really going on? And the police officer mentioned to me, that he just went through the same exact thing in PG County. And he went on to talk about racism and what happens with the PG County police. This was a DC police officer who was telling us this at the time. And while I was being involved in the midst of this, but needless to say, they did take him in. And they gave me his belongings, and then I was able to go. The sad part about it was, Dave, so many people rolled by because, you know, everyone goes to Georgetown, and they was hollering, "Sea Island, is that you? You need some help? You need me to call somebody?" Oh, Dave, I was so embarrassed. I was sitting on that curb embarrassed at all the people who recognized me on the curb with around 15 police cars, and I just thought it was so unnecessary.
Well, I believe that. And look, real quick, I got a quick message for the black man, and I'm just carrying the message. And to the black man, stand up and start loving each other and taking care of our own community, policing our own community, and stop letting these police beat us down like they've been doing it and killing us. It's not going to stop. Yeah. This has been going for the last 30, 40 years,
and it's just,
I am sick and tired of it.
I agree, and the only thing I'll say, Dave,
I don't even have a criminal history. I got to go down to the police department and get a criminal history every 2 years for driving the cab. It always comes up, no criminal history on file.
That's awesome. But you know what, Dave?
I need to be bringing them up on charges for making me suffer.
All right, Dave. Okay, we're gonna let you go, Dave. Now, there you go.
Right.
Dave, he calls in every week and want to be radical. Hang up on Dave. Just hang up on him. He always want to be radical. All right, who else do we have on the line before I get on Trendy Lindy? Okay, Miss Taylor. Good morning. Welcome to the Sea Island Morning Show.
Good morning. How are you guys?
We're great.
We're doing awesome. Miss Taylor, are you Miss Taylor who attended the conference last night? Yesterday.
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. Give us your view of the conference.
Well, I thought it was awesome. I mean, absolutely awesome. Everybody was so thorough and really just, I loved how each one of you got into the topic, broke it all the way down, and, you know, for me, what it did was it helped me see the gaps that I have in my business and how I want to fill them in before I move to the next level. Pretty much how to strengthen my foundation. And it kind of opened my eyes to a few things I may want to back away from until I'm ready. You know, so I thought it was absolutely awesome. I love the book. I got to, you know, take with me, kind of review later. I got awesome notes. I loved it.
Very good. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Ms. Taylor, for calling in to the Sea Island Morning Show. You know, our job here is to educate the community, is to let the thousands of listeners know how important it is for them to take business classes and also to refer people. And we did get people from the radio show who actually came in and they registered, and they said that they have followed me for several years, and they were thinking about planning on opening the business, and because the price was so low, that it was their opportunity to come on board. And that's what it's about on the Sea Island Morning Show. Thank you so much, Ms. Taylor.
No problem. I just want to thank you for everything you're doing. I'm appreciative.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, everyone, I tell you today we are discussing the two things that we're doing. We're talking about the business series, as well as we're talking about what happens if confronted by the police. I want to hear from more of my listeners at 1-800-450-7876. Also, Trendy, Mr. Cheney, I'm waiting for him to call Caesar because we sent him out to do, if everyone listened last week, we had Kathy Sledge from We Are Family. Hey, 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 now I got all my sisters with me. Well, anyway, the lead singer, we interviewed her live on the air on last week, and she came into town and she performed at Blues Alley. She did the Life. She did the, she incarnated Billie Holiday. And we had tickets to go to that event, and if the listeners was acting right, I would have gave those tickets to the listeners, but the listeners don't be acting right. Y'all don't act right. So when y'all don't act right, y'all got to go on punishment. Anyway, needless to say, Trendy got sick over the weekend, so she wasn't able to go. I was celebrating my oldest brother's birthday. We went to his, you might say, mansion. I haven't never been in a house that large, Trendy. Wow. He lived in Manassas, Virginia. His nothing out there but woods and deers. But the house was humongous. I've never been in a house when there was a living room, a sitting room, a library, a office, a what do you call those rooms where you was nothing but just windows? I said a sitting room, but then it was like a what you call
a sunroom?
A sunroom, a kitchen, off to the kitchen.
That sounds beautiful.
Then you had when you went into the basement. Listen, when you went into the basement, there was a huge living room area. There was a kitchen down there. There was a weight room. There was a movie theater area.
Yes,
I said
that's awesome.
No, I said the first thing I said was, who in the world clean this house?
Molly made.
But wait a minute. Then when I went upstairs to the master suite, this is unbelievable. The master suite, it had a huge sectional sofa.
Yes.
And not the little sectional sofa you see in my house. A huge sectional sofa. With the huge television before you even got anywhere near the bed.
Yeah.
And then the walk-in closet, you could put another full-size bed in there. I said, you know, man, no sense black folk living like that.
That's
in the name
awesome.
of Jesus. One day, I'll be going
well,
where
sir, you could have that
Jesus is.
if you went to Manassas. You want to stay in D.C.
Because his mortgage is cheaper than my rent.
Yes,
cheaper than my mortgage, not rent. All right, everybody, we got to go to break, but I'm telling you, you stay tuned. When we come back on our second hour, we got to talk about Trendy Lindy at the Beauty Series. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages.
1450 WOL, Washington, D.C. and WPRS HD2 Waldorf, Washington. A Radio 1 station and worldwide at WOLDCnews.com.
Hi, my name is Stanley, and I've been arrested for stealing shoes. I didn't really steal them, but I've been sent to Camp Green Lake anyway. The worst punishment a kid could get. And at Camp Green Lake, we dig holes. Lots of holes. I've only been here a short time, but I think the camp director is up to something. I'm Stanley Yelnats, and I'm covering more than dirt at Camp Green Lake. Explore new worlds. Read my story in the novel Holes by Louis Sacker. For other great book ideas, visit your local library or log on to literacy.gov. Brought to you by the Library of Congress and the Ad Council.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pen and jot down this special number. Call 800-891-4904. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for much less money. Call 800-891-4904. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99. Best of all, there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials, and watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Call 800-891-4904. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut cost and get more. Call today. 800-891-4904. That's 800-891-4904. Again, 800-891-4904.
Views and opinions of the following show do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of News Talk 1450 WOL, Radio 1 Incorporated, or their management.
All right, everyone. I tell you, I'm so excited. Ow! Oh, yes.
So funny.
Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway, this is our second hour here on the Seattle Morning Show. You know, I just want to start off the second hour by saying we appreciate so much our sponsors. We appreciate the listeners who listen week after week. There's not a week that goes by where I see people in the street. They hear me talking. They hear my voice. They say, excuse me, are you on the radio? Are you Seattle? There's not a week that go by that someone doesn't call me or email me or text me or send me a message on Facebook on how the show have touched their lives or just gave them a good laugh for the day. You know, somebody mentioned about having a comedian on the show. I tell you, I'm funny enough.
That's what I tell them.
Yeah.
We have Seattle. We don't need another.
And Trendy can be funny looking. But anyway, I'm joking.
I know you're joking. I know.
Okay, well, let me just start by saying this, Trendy. I really need you to talk to me before we get Rashawn on the line. Okay. I need you to talk to me about, please explain to me where did I go wrong, because I left your presentation. I left your presentation to make sure that, were you right before lunch, right?
Yes, right before
to
lunch.
make sure that we had the lunch, because lunch was included, because I know how our folk like to eat. And our folk, whenever they pay anything over $10, $20, Alonzo, they expect food to come along with it. No problem. So I made sure that we had a lovely spread for our attendees on yesterday. And I tell you, Alonzo, I don't know why I didn't take mine first. I came back, it was scraps of everything, and most of the stuff was gone. I said, why do folk always want to turn stuff in the Golden Corral?
And you asked them not to.
And I asked them, I said to them, Alonzo, I said, let's be respectful and let everyone eat. We had shrimp, we had chicken, we had sandwiches, we had pinwheels. And I tell you, I looked on people's plate, Alonzo, they had shrimp, sandwiches, pinwheels, and chicken. Baby.
Yes, but that's what they're going to do. We want a piece of everything, see, Alan. I try to tell you.
Okay, Trendy, talk to me, because your topic was supposed to be wealth to health. What I don't understand is how my co-host, who love relationships, she had people up there like she was the Mrs. T.D. Jakes, and she was trying to. You know what? I tell you, Trendy, why do people always want to compete against me? Lord have mercy. Why do people always want to try to take over? And Alonzo, wait a minute, you got to hear this. Not only was she trying to take over and be the star, and everybody know that I'm the star. I'm the star, Alonzo. You all know that, right? So she tries to take over. I mean, she was fantastic. So what I said to myself is, no wonder, we're not going to say the pastor's name, but no wonder Pastor so-and-so had a problem with her, because she was awesome. And when I went down the steps to get some napkins, I said this is why Pastor so-and-so had a problem with her, because she has a gift. She's very talented, and I tell you, she had the crowd going crazy. But to me, she was talking about the wrong thing. Talk to me, Trendy.
Okay, first of all, I would like to say I am so grateful, C. Allen. I thank you for the opportunity of always allowing me the platform to express myself and share my gift. I want to say that first. And also, you always exceed. You go above in everything that you do. When the people came to get their lunch yesterday, they was like, oh man, the money that we paid, we didn't pay enough. You know, we didn't pay for all that we received today. And it is such a honor and a pleasure to work with someone and to serve under someone who exceeds people's expectation, because it's all about giving, and I'm so appreciative. We had a great time on yesterday. But let me start with my portion. My portion was health equals wealth. The reason, and I started my segment off, I told the people, you know, I've done a lot in the beauty industry. I've even been outside of the beauty industry, but it's always been service-based things. I've been a personal trainer. I've been a real estate agent. I've been a life and health rep. I've done all these things.
You really gonna make me read you now?
But
go
wait,
ahead.
Mr. B. But I had to go through all of those things so that I could end up working with you to be an asset to the people. So I understand why I had to go travel through all of that stuff. But anyway, I chose health and wealth because one day you came into the office and you expressed to me that your doctor.
Wait a minute, Trendy. Alonzo, who you have on the line with all that shuffling and moving around? Who is that?
Oh, is that me?
Okay, Rashawn, you on the line? Rashawn?
Yes.
Okay, I want you to hold on and stop all that mushing around and all that. Let Trendy go ahead because she about to get it. I want you to stay on the line though, but let Trendy go ahead.
I'm trying to be real fast so I can get.
No, you take your time.
Oh, take my time. Okay. So you came in the office, Mr. Bennett, and you talked about how the doctor left a message on your machine, and I don't know if it was your blood pressure or something. It was so high that the doctor said you shouldn't have been walking around. You could have really. That could have been your last day that weekend. And all of a sudden, tears filled my eyes out because immediately I'm a visionary. I got a picture. I couldn't imagine you not being here on earth. But so many people are checking out 40 years old, 38, and they're leaving here because of diabetes and heart attacks and strokes. And immediately I'm like, oh my God. And I thought about all of the different things that you're involved in and you're over. You have the salons and the schools and the daycares and all of these things. And sometimes we have all of these assets, but we neglect ourselves and our health. So I was thinking, it doesn't matter how much we learn and how much we grow and build our business if we don't take care of ourselves. We're going to have all of these things, and it's going to be left to our children and our nephews because we're not going to be here to enjoy them. So the reason I came up with Health Equals Wealth is because I wanted to help people understand you got to take care of yourself. So I started off, so you were my inspiration for doing Health Equal Wealth. And then I started off talking about your favorite quote, which is, it doesn't matter how good you are if no one knows. And Madam C.J. Walker, that's her quote. And I came up with a quote from that. My quote was, it doesn't matter if the entire world knows how good you are if you're too sick to provide quality service. So we talked about just taking care of yourself. But I wanted to go in a different way from most of the people that deal with wellness, because that's the aspect I came from, talking about wellness. And I wanted to get to the root of the problem. So I told people that we are a 3-part being. We are soul, we are body, and we are spirit. Right. So that's where we got to the little demonstration.
The soul, body, spirit. Now, hold on to that because I want you to get to the spirit. But let's get to Rashawn. Give me 1 second. Let's get to Claude. Is Claude still on the line? Claude? Yes, let's get to Claude. Claude, good morning. Welcome to the Seattle Morning Show. This is your first time calling, correct?
Yes, good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Very good. Talk to us about your take on the business series, and then I want to ask you the topic of the day. What do you do by being confronted by the police? Talk to us, Claude.
The class was so awesome. We got so much information. I felt like my head was going to explode, but that was enjoy. Mr. Bennett, you explained how to write a business plan so well and so easy that a 5-year-old could sit down and write a business plan.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Because when I kept looking at the information on my own, I was like getting confused and getting, kind of discombobulated, as they say. But you explaining it was a great asset to us in that class. And Trendy Lindy took us a new members class. I felt like I was in church.
I know that's right.
Roxanne Kerr was awesome. The beauty lawyer. Raymond Bell, he was wonderful. I just really, really enjoyed the class, and I can't wait until we have another one. I'm really looking forward to it.
That's awesome. Let me just say this, Claude, before you go. I just want to know, and you don't, we don't get a chance to really talk a lot, but I want to say that when I think of someone, that their example speaks for them. When I think of someone where their light shines often, and they do not have to tell us if they're Christian, if they are a person that like to do right, if they're a professional person, because their actions speak louder than words. And I'm just really proud to say that I am honored to be your leader at the Bennett Career Institute, because you are one of the very best night students that we've ever had. You have done your job. You're doing an awesome job. You're a fantastic hairstylist. You are a great professional, and I just want you to know, from me to you, I've never said this to you before, but I do watch you, and I see so much potential, and I see what God is going to do for you once you finish the program and continue to move towards greatness. I already see it. It's in your actions. You're not the kind of person that throw a rock and hide the hand. You're not one that say one thing in front of me and say something else behind me. You keep it straightforward. You came to me on several occasions with your opinions, with your suggestions. I just appreciate when I walked in the door last week for my birthday, there you are with your card and my favorite red velvet cupcake. And I just want you to, and you didn't even know that's my favorite red velvet cupcake, but I just want to tell you that I do appreciate you. I notice what you do. I never told this to you. I never come up patching about any of that. I just see that you are one who have made a decision. You were already a professional person, but you came to Bennett Career Institute and you are shining a very bright light. So I just want to thank you for being one of the ones that make my day. Thank you so much.
Oh my God, I so appreciate that. Mr. Bennett gonna make me cry, y'all.
Okay, don't cry, don't cry.
Look, my mama would be glad to hear that because I just want to make her proud. She always say, "Don't do nothing that embarrass me," you know. I just try to keep it 100, as they say.
Well, definitely you have taken heed. All right, Claude, talk to you soon.
Thank you.
All right. Now listen, Rashawn, we gotta go to commercial break, but I tell you, when we come back, Rashawn Broadnax, he did an awesome job in reference to marketing, social media. He talked about doing websites. He talked about, should you go on LinkedIn? Should you go on Facebook? Should you go on Twitter? Should you go on Pinterest? All those things, some of those things I never even heard of before. And he was so professional. I tell you, that old private school, you tell your mama, boy, that old private school did you right in New Jersey. He was the only one who came, Alonzo, he came with his little PowerPoint, and he was standing up there behind the podium. Nobody used the podium but him, and all that. He was standing up there. Only thing he needed was one of them old long sticks, and then he would have been Professor Broadnax. Calm yourself down with that blonde head. We got to go to commercial break, everybody. When we come back, I tell you, we're going to bring on my executive assistant, Rashawn Broadnax. He brands the red chair in the Sea Island Signature Salon. He put on a presentation that was really awesome. The funny thing is, Rashawn isn't the talker.
Yes.
Trendy and I do all the talking in the office, and Rashawn is the enforcer. He's the paperwork guy. He's the guy that keep me and Linda straight. He's the one who come in and say, okay, that's enough. Y'all need to get back to work. He actually think he's the boss, but he's not. It's commercial time here on the Sea Island Morning Show. We'll be right back after these messages.
News Talk 1450 WOL AM, where information is power.
Good morning. This WOL traffic update is brought to you by Medifast Weight Control Centers. Suitland Parkway outbound at Firth Sterling Avenue. The right lane is blocked with construction. It's going to slow you down briefly approaching the work zone as you stay to the left. On the outer loop of the Beltway northbound on 95 and 495 after 202 before Route 50, it's the left lane blocked for construction with delays up from Marina Drive. Fitter with Fit and 4, the new 4-week all-inclusive weight loss program from Medifast Weight Control Centers. No gimmicks, just fast and healthy weight loss. For about $15 a day, call 844-740-MEDI. Now your WOL weather forecast brought to you by Star Motorcycles for today. Increasing clouds, a high near 84. Tonight, some showers down to 70. Tomorrow, thunderstorms off and on with a high near 78. Turn your commute into a fun and stress-free ride on a Star Cruiser. Right now, Star's offering free demo rides so you can discover all their great models for yourself. For more, Google Star Demo. Steve Hirshhorn for News Talk 1450 WOL, where information is power.
News updates on the web at WOLDCnews.com.
All right, everyone. We're here back on the Sea Island Morning Show. Let's bring in Ms. Thompson. I want you to hold the line. Let's bring Caesar in. I tell you, Mr. Chaney.
Yeah, how you doing there, Mr. Seattle?
Okay, very good. Just make sure that radio's turned down. All right, so listen, sir. I wanted to start off by just saying, just letting our listeners know that Kathy Sledge from Sister Sledge, who we interviewed last week on the Sea Island Morning Show, sweet lady, they called me in the middle of the week and said that not only did they have tickets because Trinity was so crying to see the show that she didn't go to. That's a long story. We'll talk about Trinity in the last half an hour. I'm going to take the whole half an hour to get on her. Yeah. Anyway, so what happened was they said that Kathy called. She wanted someone to come and do a facial. So we sent Mr. Chaney, who is one of the men of Sea Island Signature Salon. He's one of our signature models who works with our product line. And we sent him to do her facial. And I'm going to go to the text. While I'm going to the text, I want you to tell me what was your experience when you went to the prestigious hotel to do the facial for Kathy Sledge. Talk to us.
The experience was very pleasurable, as you said. Miss Sledge is very, very personable. She's very nice. She's a sweet lady. Her assistant Ulysses was a very welcoming. You know what I mean? They didn't have they were real down to earth. So it made the experience a lot easier to go into. Being just the first type of person on that caliber of a work with. So, like I said, it made me feel welcome, made me feel relaxed, let me just do what I had to do. The service went smooth. She really enjoyed it. And most of the thing I learned mostly is that most people just all want to be treated, the same, no matter what kind of level that we're on. And you spoke yesterday, and I told you that I just approached it like I approach every station to try to give each person the best service that I can. And, I felt like she really enjoyed it. She said, that's something she would have to experience at least once a month. So, from my perspective, and I'm guessing her too, that it went very, very positive.
All right, very good, Caesar. Well, I just want to let you know that you didn't know this, but we got to go to Rashawn. I completely forgot Rashawn was on the line. So listen, Caesar, you didn't know this, but that was your test, because I received a call back saying that the facial was fantastic. They said that I could not have sent a better, more professional person there to go and do the celebrity, Miss Kathy Sledge. And I told Lindy that was your test. I already knew that I was going to bring you on the Sea Island team, but I wanted to make sure, because oftentimes people will come to me as the boss and they show me one face, but then they end up having several other faces, and I have to tell them, and I tell them to have several seats, Mr. Caesar.
Right.
But anyway, nonetheless, on tomorrow, you need to come and see me, because I am going to give you that position and talk to you more about being the new member of our Sea Island team. You did a great job with her. You was able to pass the test. Go ahead and give Outback that notice that you're going to be leaving them, so you can become a part of the Sea Island team, and we'll talk to you more about that. But I just want to say congratulations, making me proud. Making me proud. You did a fabulous job according to what was told to me, and I thank you.
And we knew you would.
Thank you, Trendy. Thank you, Trendy. I've been looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.
All right, we'll talk tomorrow. All right, Rashawn Broadnax, I'm sorry we've been having you hold so long. Rashawn Broadnax, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, Mr. Broadnax, I want you to talk to us about a little bit about what you shared. Share a little bit with our listeners what you discussed. And I'm so angry because my phone went dead. So I cannot connect with the listeners who've been texting me the entire time because my phone just went dead. But anyway, Rashawn, talk to us about your experience on yesterday, and what were you able to talk to the people about?
Well, the experience was just awesome in itself. It was a pleasure to get up and to share some of the information that had been brought to me over the years in terms of marketing and branding my business, and then how important a website can be to your business, as well as being active on the various social media networks that we have out right now. So it was just a pleasure to be able to share all that information with the audience, and hopefully people were able to grasp some of the stuff and they can put it into practice to improving and expanding their businesses.
Very good. Well, I was on social media, and a lot of people liked a lot of the images that you did, and I thought that the presentation was great. Quickly, tell us, what did you think was the highlight of your presentation? What did you enjoy most sharing with our attendees on yesterday?
I think for me, the highlight was probably the information on social media, because we have so many facets of social media out right now. And one important thing that a piece of research that I came across said was not to try to use all aspects of social media, but to choose two so that you can be effective. I think a lot of times when I look at things that people are putting out, you see several images across several different pieces of social media, whereas if we really focus on one or two, we can be a lot more effective in reaching our target group.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I thought that was awesome, Mr. Broadnax. I just want to thank you again for being a part of the Sea Island team. I just like the fact that I love growth, and I see that how at one point you never wanted to talk in front of people. You never wanted the microphone, to you bending over asking me, is it your time yet? Let them know they have 5 minutes because you're ready to get on. And then when I got up to give you the Miss Alexander, hang yourself, time to go, you was just continue. You was ready to continue to keep on enlightening the people. So I just thank God for growth, and I just want you to know that I was very proud of you on yesterday, and I believe that you did a fantastic job. So you keep up the good work, sir.
I would like to add also, I was very proud to see Mr. Broadnex look like a college professor, standing up there, and very entertaining. It was just very good to see, because you are not the talker of the group. You know, you're the one who sit back and you give the logical, and he gives the logical explanations, or help us to see the other sides of a situation. But it was really refreshing to see and all of the experience, because I am not a social media person, but I learned a lot from your segment yesterday, Mr. Broadnex. So I enjoyed.
Mr. Broadnex, did you hear me? I said desert saying, catch the shade.
No one's listening to C. Allen.
About that later. But before you hang up on me, I want to talk about what to do about the police.
Yes, sir. Talk to us. What do you do when confronted by the police, sir?
I thought, the first two, I would agree. I believe, was it Tyrone?
Yes.
Okay, so he kind of confirmed what I was thinking. I think the best thing for us to do, especially when you're young African-American males, is to be compliant. Yes. But with that, we have to also know our rights. And it's so funny that you brought this conversation up, because in the C. Allen Signature Salon in the evening, especially towards the end of the week, we have a great time there, but a lot of times we have really in-depth conversation. And one young lady who is an attorney, she said the most important thing is you have to know your rights. And like he said, you don't always have to, Roxanne said, you don't always have to submit to those tests, because if you have been drinking, the test can be swayed one way or the other. And one thing that the young lady in the salon brought up, she said, did you know that those testing machines need to be calibrated on a regular basis? So if it has not been, it can be out of whack. So when you go to take your breathalyzer test, the reading may be incorrect, which can land you in jail. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? The other thing was when they ask you, can you search your car? And I was guilty of this. I said, I would always say sure, because I knew that there was nothing in the car. I'm not a drug user. I'm not an alcoholic. I don't have those things in my trunk. So why not? But she said, did you ever consider that if they decided they wanted to place you in jail, that they had that opportunity then to put that thing in your car?
Yeah.
So I was like, that's an moment. And she said, you don't always have to submit to those tests. You can respectfully decline. You may find yourself going to jail, but that's an added thing that you will not have to deal with. You won't have that additional charge on your record, once they choose to take you to jail.
Gotcha. That's some very good information. We should think about doing an entire show. Have some police officers, have some union guys, have some people to call in, have some people who can share their stories, just to let us know and enlighten us more about what to do when confronted by the police. Thank you so much, Mr. Broadnex. You did an outstanding job. We look forward to seeing you in a few minutes.
Yes.
Thank you so much. You
no
guys
problem.
Have an awesome day.
And Ms. Thompson been holding so long on the line. Is Ms. Thompson still on the line?
Yes.
Good morning. Welcome to the
Good
Seattle
morning,
Morning Show.
everybody.
Good morning, Ms. Thompson.
Ms. Thompson, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Is this your first time calling in?
Yes, sir.
Oh, very, very good. Thank you for listening to the Seattle Morning Show. Now, did you attend the business series on yesterday?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so what I want you to do is two things. I want you to talk to us about your experience, and then I want you to go into our question of the day: what happens when confronted by the police? Talk to us.
My experience yesterday, I was truly thankful for that class. I learned a lot, and it gave me a V8 moment. It made me look at my right now instead of looking at the future and how much I could be making and what I could be running. It really brought reality. It really brought it home for me. All the speakers was good. I can't say it enough. They took time out with their presentation. They gave you different aspects to grab on to main points, especially the points about
with you, Mr. Bennett, the meditation and, slowing down so you can be able to figure out your plan and write your plan and the business plan. With Roxanne Kerr, just being able to know how to do a LLC, because when I did my LLC, I paid for mine. So I didn't have that knowledge at the time. So everybody, even with Trendy Lindy, with her health and wellness, Mr. Broadnax, with social media, everybody did good and had very valuable points. And I just thank God for you all just putting it together, and I can't wait till the next class.
All right. Well, Ms. Thompson, before you go on, because we got to go to break, but tell us real quick, what happens when confronting the police? What do you do?
Well, being in law enforcement, I would say the same thing Mr. Broadnax said. I will piggyback on everything he said, because, first of all, you have to be in compliance, but secondly, you have to know your rights as a citizen as well.
Got you. All right. So, Tanya Thompson, let me just say this. We got to go to break, but I want to let you know that I want to thank you for all the things that you do for Sea Island. When I tell you, from you coming into Signature, with you coming into Signature, with you always supporting me, with you jumping on the bus to go on the trips with us, with you just being a part of what we do, I just want to let you know that we appreciate you for all the things that you do for the Bennett Career Institute, with the Bennett Career Institute, with Sea Island Systems. I just want to thank you for just always being there and being a great supporter. You have a good day, all right?
You too. Thank you, too.
No problem. All right. It's commercial time here on the Sea Island Morning Show. When we come back, Trendy Lindy's going to pick back up on what she was teaching on yesterday at the business series. This is 1450 AM WOL. We'll be right back after these messages.
News Talk 1450 WOL AM, where information is power.
I'm Doug Parrish. Here's the latest from News1.com, brought to you in part by the Foundation for a Better Life. Learn about their mission. Go to values.com. Well, police have identified a man who allegedly fired the shots that killed a 3-year-old girl in Landover on Sunday. They're searching for 25-year-old Devon Wallace, who police say fired the shots after getting into an argument with another man at a home on Forest Terrace.
And we believe that he fires that handgun into the residence in the 6900 block of Forest Terrace, strikes the young girl, who we do not believe was in any way an intended target. This is obviously horrific collateral damage.
Lieutenant Bill Alexander with Prince George's Police says the little girl was hit while she was in an upstairs bedroom. A warrant has been issued for Wallace's arrest. Well, parts of a St. Louis suburb look like a war zone today as police and business owners survey the damage from overnight rioting and looting. At least 30 people were arrested in connection with the chaos that broke out in Ferguson, Missouri. It all started with protests over the police-involved shooting of 18-year-old Michael Brown. Witnesses say Brown was unarmed when he was shot dead by an officer. It took firefighters several hours to pull 24 people off a roller coaster that got stuck in the air at Six Flags in Largo. The Joker's Jinx coaster broke down Sunday, stranding riders some 80 feet in the air. They're still trying to figure out what happened. Several events being held this week will offer free school supplies for kids of military families. The group Homefront Mid-Atlantic will be giving out backpacks full of school supplies at American Legion and VFW halls in Woodbridge and in Lanham, as well as Suitland. And the news brought to you in part by Heritage for the Blind. Be a star. Donate your car to Heritage for the Blind. I'm Doug Parrish. When you're looking for news for Black America, go to News1.com.
News updates on the web at WOLDCnews.com.
All right, everybody. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Welcome back to the Sea Island Morning Show. I thought this was a great post. I want to say this before we take showtime. Rashawn Broadnax shared this on his page. 7 things to give up. People pleasing, doubting yourself, negative thinking, fear of failure, criticizing yourself, saying yes when you want to say no, and procrastination. That's a whole show.
That's a whole show.
That's a whole show right there.
That'll preach right there.
Yeah, that's a whole show. All right, let's go to the phone lines. We have Showtime on the line. Then we're going to take Brandon, Bernard, and then we're going to go into Trendy Lindy. Showtime, talk to us. Welcome to the Sea Island Morning Show.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Bennett and Trinity Lindy. I had a wonderful. You called me at a bad time. Actually, down here at 1100 now, 4th Street. But the business class was phenomenal. What I took from the business class and learned a lot was the most important thing to me was not only we talked about building a business, but the most important thing to me, you taught us and the information gave us how to maintain and keep a business, which is very important. Hello?
Yes.
No, I'm listening.
Oh, okay. I'm a bad reception. And it was really great. You know, for us, like a lot of the laws, the education part was very, very important. A lot of us spent a lot of time on, you know, making that business grow, how it's going to look, but they never take time to say, hey, I'm building this business, but what am I doing to maintain, to keep it? You know, what you call like going into the kitchen. Nobody see what's going on in the kitchen ingredients. They just see when the food comes out, and it's all presented in front of everybody. But in the kitchen is make sure your paperwork is legit. Make sure you have all your licenses. Make sure all your styles are licensed. Make sure everybody's on point of what they need to do to maintain your business. And that was really great. Ms. Carr, the guy from the whole program, Mr. Bell, everybody's phenomenal with all the information they gave, even including the speakers from Rashad and even Trinity Lindy, who kind of like surprised me because the inspiration was very elating and it just like had everybody ready to charge out like we was at a football game or something. It was great.
All right, with Showtime, let me ask you this question because we got to go. Talk to us about what happens if confronted by the police.
I'm going to tell you something. What happened? Well, again, at the end of the day, it's education. People are not aware of the laws are changing every day. People don't know their rights. And a lot of things that they're not doing anymore they did years ago. You know, police came out to the communities. Police came out to the school. I don't know when the police came to schools, talked to the staff, talked to the students, let them know what's going on, and how the laws are changing. You know, what are they stopping people for? Basic elementary stuff. People don't have communities. They need to speak it in church. You know, it's so many things that we're not even tapping into. You know, people don't go into the district and say, hey, listen, I need somebody to come out to our community center. I need somebody to come out to our community and speak and let us know much, you know, what's going on. What are the do's and the don'ts? And we also got to educate ourselves. It's just a bottom line about education. And a lot of things, like I heard Rashad was saying, that he'll normally just get out, you know, because, hey, I don't have anything to hide, which any common person may do. But, hey, I don't have anything to hide. But there's so many people, it's the opposite, who don't know their rights. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's about educating yourself, knowing what you can, what you can't do.
All right, that's very good. Okay, Showtime, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. Keep listening. So because the beauty series inspired you so much, you're downtown taking care of paperwork. Is that what you're telling us? Okay, we hung up on him. Okay, very good. Okay, that's fine. All right, everyone, let's go to Brandon. Brandon, thanks for calling in to the Sea Island Morning Show. Talk to us.
Good morning, Trinity Lindy. Good morning, Mr. Bennett. How are you?
Good morning, Brandon.
I was just calling in to basically say good morning to everybody and also just talk about the business series that I attended yesterday.
Okay.
It was a very, very, very informative business series. I got a lot out of the information that the speakers gave to us. You know, just so informative. I really didn't necessarily go into the business series thinking that I would get as much out of it as I did. All of the information that all of the speakers gave was, you know, was very phenomenal, very powerful. And I just want to thank you for having classes like that. People, you know, who are unsure and unaware of the rules and the laws and things that you have to do, you know, you just basically power them with that information to get ahead in the future. And I just want to say thank you for that.
Okay, very good. So let me ask you this, and you're quite welcome. What do you do if confronted by the police?
Well, if I'm confronted by the police, mainly I'm pretty educated on most laws that they have. So, I mean, I feel like as long as I'm within my right, you know, then I go accordingly to what they say. But it's all about being knowledgeable of the law, because if you don't know, just like you were saying yesterday with salon owners, if you don't know the laws and the rules, then they can definitely get over on you.
All right, very good. Okay, thank you so much, Brandon. All right, let's go.
Thank you.
Yes, let's go to Bernard. Bernard, good morning. Welcome to the Sea Island Morning Show. Your comment?
Good morning, Sea Island Show.
I had a chance to fall in love with Trendy Lindy yesterday at the business series, and I just had to call up and tell all about it. I was familiar with her, but I didn't really get a grasp of who she was and where her passion was until yesterday. And it was just amazing when she spoke on health and wellness as a whole, and talked about financial health and emotional health and social health, all in all 6 or 7 different kinds of health, and gave us background and gave us experience, and like Showtime said, you know, all of this energy and excitement, and just had us on the edge of our seat and just wanting more. And it was really great. It was a plethora of information. You had all kinds of experience there. And for a guy like me who comes from low-income neighborhoods to see millionaires coming in there and giving us information on how to do it, things that they're not teaching us in school. They're not teaching us these things in school, how to thrive, how to build a business, how to be entrepreneurs. And the information was worth way more than I paid for it.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Bernard.
That's awesome. All right, so talk to us really quickly. What happens if confronted by the police?
Well, what should happen socially is that we should really evaluate why we're being confronted by police, and what is their office, and what are these public servants doing with our public money that we paid for. My experience with the police has started I grew up in New Orleans, and I was hacked up and confronted by police a lot, and I was always seen as a criminal first. And I lived in California for years and actually had a professional experience as I worked in grassroots politics, and even was able to debate the chief of police there on tactics, on the way that they interact with the citizens, because we all know that police will sit still and protect some areas, some neighborhoods, but then they'll move around and they'll patrol other areas, and they have a very different agenda when they go through those areas. And as Showtime said, we have to be educated on what our rights are. FlexYourRights.org is an organization I have no ties to, but there's a lot of good information there on how to handle yourself when you come into police encounters, and just understanding, like Mr. Broadnax said, that you don't have to let them search your car. You know, and they are not an authority over us. Just understanding who you are, the role that they have in society is key. So education, understanding things like this, and understanding all of the things that we learned yesterday at the business series. This is education that they're not going to give to us. This is information that's been kept away from us, and that we need to continue to just share with each other.
Very good. And well said. Thank you so much, Bernard. Have a good day.
Awesome.
Now.
Thank you for having me.
Sure. Okay. All right, everyone. So then, Trendy, let's take this call. Take this call. Good morning. Welcome to the Sea Island Morning Show.
Good morning. This is Tiana Mays.
Yes, Miss Mays. Okay, talk to us, Miss Mays.
I was just calling about everything that I learned yesterday. Especially Miss Trendy Lindy's little sermon. I went home with a headache. Like, it was so much information yesterday. I wrote down, basically everything that I heard. It was a great eye-opener. There was a lot of things that I had a lot of questions about, and every single one of my questions got answered. It was very powerful yesterday. Very powerful. Very
good. So, Ms. Mays, as a young female, talk to us about what happens if confronted by the police.
Well, I have actually been confronted by the police before.
Okay.
Me and my husband, we had BB guns, and we were out in the back of our house. And I guess one of the BBs ended up hitting somebody's window, and they called the police on us. And immediately, as soon as she came out the car, I just dropped everything and was like, put my hands up. You know, I had no specific tone in my voice. You know, I was calm about the whole thing. And then she just was. You know, she was telling us how people try to take off the orange parts of the BB gun and try to make it look like a real gun and all kinds of stuff. But throughout the whole thing, I remained calm. And, I was like, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Basically, I tried to keep any confrontation to the little to none, basically. So there was no reason why she felt as though she needed to go anywhere further than what, than just confronting us.
Okay. All right. Very good. And we definitely appreciate your comment. Thank you so much, Ms. Mays. You have a good day, okay? Thank you for listening to the C. Allen Morning Show.
Thank you, and you guys have a great day, too.
You too.
All right, so Trendy, get back to what you was talking about because you was really performing on yesterday. Go ahead, Trendy.
Well, I would just like to add, first of all, you were right, C. Allen, because usually you take the entire 8 hours to do your segment.
Yes, I do.
You talk up, and I noticed you didn't even get an opportunity to talk about customer service. Did you talk about that?
I did not.
Exactly. So when I stood up there, and I think most of the presenters had the same feeling. Once you got up there, it actually took like 30 minutes to warm up. So once you got warmed up,
it took you 30 minutes.
Yeah,
to
it took
warm
me.
up.
I'm sorry, it took me 30. Well, it really to introduce myself and to tell everyone why. And
First of all, I was on the first floor and I heard Trendy Lindy. First of all, you were so loud,
I get
and
loud.
she was preaching and she was screaming and she was sweating and she was excited. The only thing we needed to do was bring her some ginger ale and a napkin.
But I was presenting with a cold, so I had to really forget about myself and give what I believe God gave to me. But the thing is, C. Allen, once you really, I only got through maybe a third of my package.
Yeah,
I didn't even get to scratch the surface.
Well, I tried to be. I tried to be diligent, and I made sure that I covered the entire thing.
Yeah.
But it wasn't what I wanted to do. I really wanted to be a little more theatrical because in this industry you can be. When we come back,
yes, we can.
We're gonna. When we come back, it's gonna be our last segment.
Yes.
So we're going to share our announcements. We're not going to take any more callers. So those who was about to call, you got to wait till next Monday. This is C. Allen and Trendy Lindy. We'll be right back after these messages.
News updates on the web at WOLDCnews.com.
Good morning, WOL Traffic Update is brought to you by CompareNow.com. On outbound Suitland Parkway at 1st Sterling Avenue, still have the right lane blocked for road work. Still pretty slow getting through it. On the outer loop of the Beltway, Prince George's County, northbound 95 and 495 after 202 before Route 50. It's going to be the left lane closed for construction with delays up from Marina Drive. Everyone needs car insurance, so get yours on CompareNow.com. Put in your information, multiple quotes come up. Get real, unbiased car insurance comparisons today on CompareNow.com. Now, your WOL weather forecast brought to you by Coons.com for today. Increasingly cloudy this afternoon, a high near 84. For tonight, scattered showers and thunderstorms and a low around 70. Tomorrow, scattered thunderstorms and a high around 78.
Huge Coons summer savings and up to thousands of dollars more for your trade. Just log on to Coons.com for complete details and get started now.
Steve Hirschhorn for Newstalk 1450 WOL, where information is power.
1450 WOL.
All right, everyone. I tell you, it has been an awesome, we're in our final segment, but it's been an awesome show today. Today, if you have just tuned in, we were doing a recap of the business series. For months now, we have been telling our listeners how important it is if they knew anyone that was interested in opening up a salon, barbershop, or any kind of business. We had a lady there who owned an insurance company. Any kind of business, we wanted you to call in. We wanted you to come in and take the conference because it was a full day of classes. We had 5 different speakers. Lunch was included. We started on time exactly at 9 o'clock in the morning, and we ended just a little after 5 o'clock because people had so many questions. And everybody also received an 8-hour certificate for being a part of the business series. When we tell you about taking part of things that we do, it is not a host. It's not something just to take your money, but I take time to make sure I get the right people that is going to spend quality time in research to bring to you the very best knowledge and information. And oftentimes, we have listeners who say, oh, I'm going to do it, but they never do it. And I think that's important. Now, real quick, what I wanted to do was I just wanted to mention again that I need everyone to do me a favor this week. I need you to get on the phone and I need you to call at least 5 people and let them know that we have 20 Tuesdays at the Sea Island Signature Salon. You can get a basic wet set or blow dry and curl for just $20. That's on Tuesdays at the Sea Island Signature Salon at 705 Florida Avenue Northwest. It's right on the corner of Georgia and Florida Avenue, right next to the Gospel Spreading Bookstore. It's on the Florida Avenue side, not Georgia Avenue. The parking is on the Georgia Avenue side, but it's on Florida Avenue. I'll be there tomorrow. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, but we don't want that to stop you. I want to see you tomorrow. I want you to come in. I want you to call me. Either call me today at the 202-526-1400 extension 19. My number again is 202-526-1400 extension 19. We're not trying to take you away from your stylist, but we want you to be the backup. Come in and experience the wonderful stylist that we have there. Yours truly is going to be there. I'm doing free consultations on tomorrow, and I can actually do your hair if you want me to, but I like to spread it so all of us can be a team at the Sea Island Signature Salon. So I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell 5 people, especially the senior citizens, especially people going back to college, especially that professional that may not have a lot of money to spend in salons but really need to look good. It's 20 Tuesdays at the Sea Island Signature Salon. Also on Thursdays we have $50 Lock Me Up special, where you can get your lock maintenance for $50, and if you want to style, it's just an additional $10. I need you to be the Sea Island reps this week and go out and tell 5 people. Can you do me that favor? Go out and tell 5 people about the Sea Island Signature Salon at 705 Florida Avenue Northwest, Washington, D.C. I'm there every Tuesday. Then what I started noticing was that we begin to fill up quickly on Tuesday. So if you call me directly, we can put you in on the 20 Tuesday on Wednesday, so you'll be able to still get that good service at a discounted rate. Also, our sister station, WKYS, has sponsored the Kids for Cuts, and it's going to be at the Bennett Career Institute. If you know anyone that is going back to school that want a free haircut, on August the 17th, it's going to be at Bennett Career Institute. That's for the young girls who need their hairstyle, like cornrows and plaits and all of that. That is free of charge at Bennett Career Institute at 700 Monroe Street, Northeast. We're right next to the Potbellies. The Barnes and Nobles is across the street. There's Starbucks. All of that is right there at the Career Institute, right at our fingertips. So it's important that if you have a kid that's going back to DC public schools or DC schools period, August 17th, which is a Sunday, I believe that we're doing from 1 to 6 p.m. at the Bennett Career Institute. August the 24th will be in Laurel Shopping Center. So all of the Maryland folks who want to get their free services, we're able to do that as well. And then we're doing back to school specials at both salons. I only have 2 salons now. August 2nd was my last day at the Georgia Avenue location. We introduced Mushala to you on the air. So now we're just promoting the Signature Salon at 705 Florida Avenue and our Martin Luther King location at 2100 Martin Luther King Southeast, directly across from the Big Chair. Those are 2 locations for our back to school specials. At Signature is Lock Me Up Tuesday, $50 lock maintenance. Why don't you give me a call now at 202-526-1400 extension 19. Trendy.
Excuse me. We're also registering right now for continuing education for barbers. If you are a barber, you will need to renew your license 2015. We are taking registration for classes that will start August 18th. We'll start our CEU classes. We do have them on special right now. They were regular price $150 for your CEU class. It's now $99. So if you would like to register in advance, you want to be proactive and get those 6 continuing education units now, you can call me at 202-526 1400 extension 18, and we can get you registered for the August class.
Trending. Let me just talk about you for a minute before we get off the air. I'm trying to figure out. You see, Alonzo, you got to be careful because, my sister told Trendy, my sister said anyone who sits under C. Allen, their life changes drastically.
That's true.
Let me tell you about this Trendy. I put her up there to be a speaker, which I've never done before, at the business series. Now she's asking me, Alonzo, and listeners, she wants to know what is my rate when people call me out. Like, for an example, I am the graduation speaker at schools. I was just the graduation speaker at the National Beauty Cultures League for their conference with thousands of members, and I was the speaker. She wants to know how much am I getting paid, because she talking about she want to go on the road now.
No. Well, see, Allen has a book coming out.
In the world, she talking about she want to go on the road after she did one little presentation.
No, first of all.
And everybody hollering and screaming, Trendy
first
Lindy.
of all, sir.
Yes, she even touched yours truly. And now she talking about how much you get paid because it's time for me to go on the road in the name of Jesus.
First of all, sir, we both have books that's coming out in the fall. We both will be going on the road. So I am a proactive person, and I am looking towards the future, sir. But see, Allen, I don't even know what else to say.
That Trendy Lindy, listen to me, y'all. She was up there.
Look at Lonzo.
Just because I gave her 45 minutes and she let the spirit take over and she's spinning around, her ponytail shaking like she's the doggone what's the lady? She doing Wonder Woman spins and all of that with the genie lady in the bottom. And after she got ready, now she want to take her show on the road.
That's not
Girl,
true.
have a seat. Have several seats, Trendy Lindy.
Look at Lonzo. Stop
laughing.
laughing.
I couldn't wait to get you this morning.
Lonzo.
I said, now I see why Pastor so-and-so be mad at you, because the way you running around there on that stage acting like you somebody preacher.
Sir, I am a preacher, and you know that.
In the church, and you teach
that was
in the school.
Church. That was the church.
And you teach in the school.
And you know it was a church.
Well, Trendy, let me just say this. We only have 2 minutes left. Let me say this. One, I just want to say that you do a fantastic job. And one of the things that I'm so proud of, everyone, I'm proud of the fact that God have bestowed upon me to allow me to open up doors for so many people. I think about Mushala, who's a salon owner now because of C. Allen. I think about Showtime, who called in, who now owns the Ustream because of C. Allen. I think about Miss Clark, who is about to embark on ownership for the Martin Luther King location. Yes. I think about all of the
Camilla that's getting ready to open up. What? Oh, I'm sorry.
Lord have mercy. I
got that C. Allen spirit on me.
You wrong for that. Okay.
I did
you
not
wrong
know.
for that.
I'm sorry.
That Trinity don't know what to say out her mouth. Nonetheless, I just want us now to see people like Trendy Lindy and other people, to see Rashawn to get up there and show up, because this is what I tell people. It's all about giving. It's about planting seeds and reaping a harvest. The Lord today for allowing me to be in business. Coming up, everybody, in September, I would have been in a beauty school for 18 years, and I would have been in the beauty industry for 22 years. I'm 46 years old, and I thank God for everything that He has done for me. I'm trying to prepare to the beauty industry at 50 and do nothing but go on the road, be on my talk show, go on all of my books and publications that are coming out shortly. Also, we still have a big we haven't mentioned about television. You met the people from Hybrid Films who came in. We can't share with you on national TV as of yet, but that will be coming soon. I just say it's all about reaping.
Yes.
When you sow seeds, plant good seeds, you will reap harvest.
That's right.
All right, everyone. For those of you who listen, for those who tuned in, remember you need to call me to make 202-526-1400 extension 19. And remember, pamper yourself. Why?
Because you are worth it.
Have a good week, everyone.
See you.
News Talk 1450 WOL and WOLDCnews. Stick
kids think you're out of touch because of the way you dress?
Yes.
Well, say hello to instant style with On. Just spray fashion on whatever you're wearing and look cool in an instant. Turn orthopedic shoes into vintage high top, khakis into skinny jeans. Even clip-on ties become fly gold chains. Just spray, let it dry, and...
What about my fanny pack?
You mean your hip MP3 player?
Wow.
Well, you mean your hot pink shutter shades. Hey, I can't see. See you, and trust me, they see fashion.
Thanks, Fashion On.
Fashion On is not available and it doesn't exist. But that's okay. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Because kids in foster care don't need, they need you. For more information on how you can adopt, go to adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement, Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
Bad credit card debt happens to good people. Credit lure you in with low introductory rates or low minimum payments. Before you know it, you owe thousands of dollars in credit card debt. Millions of good people just like you. But here's the good news. Thanks to a powerful program now approved, anyone with $2,000 more in credit card debt can cut their credit card payments up to half and even reduce or eliminate interest charges. All right, our nationwide nonprofit program is helping U.S. residents cut their credit card payments. Call 800-98130 now. The call and information are free. We've helped over 500,000 people with their credit card debt. I help you. Call 800-925-8130 to see how this powerful nonprofit program can work. Bad credit card debt happens to good people. Get free of credit card debt today. Call 800-925